Hey, everybody. This is Andrew Smith, and I'm at my house in my studio at home. And I'm trying to. Hello, this is Andrew. I'm at my house. I'm in my studio in my home, and I'm trying to do a test to share with you all some of the wisdom that I got at the Martin Luther King Jr. 55th anniversary of the Beyond Vietnam speech that was held at the Riverside Church in New York City this past weekend. And I'm going to try to share a brief clip of Dr. King's daughter, the Reverend Dr. Bernice King, and see if this all works as far as the audio is concerned and all of those things.
For not heeding the words of the prophet. And that's why we're sitting here today, because he was a prophet sent to this, not just nation, but sent to this world for us to turn from those wicked ways of destruction and oppression and exploitation and greed and arrogance and elitism and everything else, selfishness that we can name. Um, you know, I was thinking more so also about the beginning when he talked about the calling to speak being a vocation of agony, and what it took for my father to take a stand so publicly at that time in the movement. Um, Most of us may know, but a lot of people who may be watching don't know that there were many people who turned against him. Those who were his colleagues in the civil rights struggle. His own board, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, did not stand with him. He had to make this statement individually. He had one board member who still lives today, Reverend Dr. Otis Moss Jr., who supported him. But he had a partner in life, Coretta Scott King, who was already a voice and a force in the peace movement, who stood with him and, in fact, over and over again encouraged him to lend his moral voice to the peace movement. And so I say that because even though he exercised courage in that moment, I want people to understand it was just not automatic, but he made a choice. And today we are being called to make the same choice, to respond to be in agreement with and in alignment with our conscience. This is a call to conscience all over the world, because oftentimes people agonize in places of influence and leadership to speak, to break their silence, because they don't exercise that choice and because of the agony of who.
So I'm doing a test. I don't know if that audio came through or not. I'll find out here in just a minute. I'm not sure if my audio is coming through or not. But that is the Reverend Bernice King. It was delivered this past Saturday at the Riverside Church in New York City, where on the upper west side of Manhattan, near Columbia University and Union Theological Seminary, where Dr. King delivered the Beyond Vietnam speech on April 4th, 1967. And I feel that each of us, has it incumbent upon ourselves to realize that in the current situation of United States empire in decline and Russian empire in decline, that the Ukrainian people have been sacrificed for this showdown between the United States and Russia, with their territory, with their homes, with their neighborhoods, with their communities, becoming the meat on the altar of an ideal that is being competed on television programs and debated on podcasts like this one, where we're not getting the full story and we're being elicited, sympathies are being elicited to us, to not consider the alternatives to war. War is always a choice, and there is always a nonviolent alternative. Now I'm gonna stop this, but this is a preview of some more live casting that I would like to do on the topic of the current war in the Ukraine between Russia's attack on the people of Ukraine and the Ukraine's self-defense, and the role that we all have as citizens of planet Earth, and some of us as Americans, to discuss and to talk about this. But I want to come back later and share another segment from that Beyond Vietnam event. And then I also have other video clips that I'd like to project and discuss here. But I was just testing. I use a client called StreamYard, and I'm just testing to see if it all works well. I'm Andrew Smith, a teacher, preacher, and sober creature, and a nonviolent peacenik, old school peacenik since the old days. Thanks for coming to my test live stream. We're sharing video. I've never shared video before in the StreamYard. I'm going to go back and see if it worked. Thank you.